She's heading for the beach all night now. So really nice to see you guys. We've got one couple around the corner. We'll just nick them from their hotel and we'll get started on the commissary coming to Bridgetown. This beautiful bay is called Carlisle Bay, named after the Earl of Carlisle. The view will extend right up to the Deepwater Harbour. Was his immunity developed to the disease here on the island that would save him during the American War of Independence while the island troops, but it is tolerated for some good reason, like drink driving. In Plantations, the location where the first Catholic church was built on the island. Turning right, we're coming into the capital, Bridgetown, and we'll learn that its title was derived from the discovery of a wooden bridge built by early Amerindian inhabitants called the Arawaks. The Caribbean. Over your left shoulder, the statue of the first Prime Minister, Errol Walton Barrow. This is what he looked like from behind. This is the Constitution River where the English discovered the wooden bridge that had been built by the early Amerindians, the Arawaks, that vanished prior to the English arrival but left traces running fresh waters into the capital 4 years earlier. Over your right shoulder, the war memorial commemorates the war day of 1987, commemorating 21 years of independence. This parliament dates 1639 and is keeping an eye on the statue of Nelson. Seen here on the right in these buildings. Amazingly, the statue of Nelson you just saw predates the one in London by 30 years, ladies and gentlemen. It is amazing here, or you will lose the difference. And the blue bottom. The vessel was called the Adventure of the High Seas. I remember it well. And I thought to myself, on the left side of the road, her house is there. Her favourite pastimes, riding her bicycle and flying her kites. She used to like flying her kite in the cemetery down the end, Westbury Cemetery. The road up from the cemetery where she grew up is Westbury Road. If you were to look at her production company's name, it is Westbury Road Productions. Local flower called Major Pride. So this is where these cylindrical buildings, that's where they convert the wheat that's imported into flour. The refinery dates is 1703. Our distillery is located to the north of the island, dates is 1663. Mount Gay is recognized as being the world's oldest official rum distiller, ladies and gentlemen. The Avatar. The local nickname Raggy Point comes about due to the high coral cliffs found in the area and depicted as quickly drawing along the coastline. The island of Barbados is the coral island, which is not volcanic. What you see on the right is the actual reef. So we're moving along the west coast, and this is the gold, ivory or platinum coast where you find some ridiculous real estate. This monument on the left commemorates those having lost their lives in the Air Cubana crash in 1976. See that name on the map as we come into hometown. So over your left shoulder, this is where Simon Cowell usually spends about 4 weeks with us. This Christmas just gone, Mark Wahlberg and his family were in for the 3rd consecutive Christmas holidays with us. Not in 2004, saying I do when you should have probably said I'm still doing. His level of honesty could have saved him a few dollars in the divorce court. On the left is a new villa called Villa Tamarindo. This is a sizable one. This one has 13,000 square feet of interior living space. So we'll learn today that people are building out of blocks and wood is losing ground, and so to capture the character before it's all gone. Let's read the description of the monument too, shall we? This is what it reads. This monument commemorates the So, Louis Vuitton, Cartier, Ralph Lauren, Armani, Michael Kors, you name it, you'll find it here, my friends. The only thing you won't find here is me. The little street on the left is called 2nd Street and wraps around the back into what's called 1st. On the left, the swampy area is where the peculiar name Old Town came from. Old Town. The original name of the town was Jamestown, as you'll see on the wall on your right. On the left, the first place of worship was built out of wood. Here we see the modern structure making up the St. James Parish Church. In the ocean, depending on depth of the water, what's beneath it. White sandy bottom and shallow water will reflect the sunlight up through it and give a very clear appearance to the water. Beaches look pretty crowded today as well. I love it in Barbados. I never saw a crowded beach until 25 years old when we Palazzi residences. So 250 million Barbados dollars in property, 125 million US dollars. As you look ahead, I'm overwhelmed by the crowds and kiosks spilling off the sides of the sidewalk and into the streets. It's sheer madness and mayhem, I tell you. Please remember when in Spikestown, do not buy any coconuts from anyone except the old ladies on the street side. The ladies have a little bit of produce. It's not a major market day today. The main days for the market are Friday and Saturday. And people get paid on Friday, so who don't come to shop Friday will come on Saturday. Look at the sweet potatoes in the upper tray. The lovely sweet potatoes. it's tough for guys like me to differentiate, you know, because every day looks like this. What day is it today? Oh, is it winter? I mean, it's spring. Named the island around Barbados, Los Barbados, the island of the bearded ones. So it was shortened over time to simply Barbados. Go to the fourth session. They would build the second half after units from phase 1 sold to certain because you could ask for a 50% discount. This is only really half a marina. So we get to go there and have some drinks and to show me the penthouse. It's nice to know that you have the choice where you can be barefoot and fancy free like me, or it can be posh and pampered 500 feet above sea level. This will give us a good elevated look across the east of the island. Considering that the island's highest point barely exceeds 1100 feet above sea level, we'll be in a good position. Patch of sugar cane that belongs to Nicholas Abbey Plantations, so that we should be able to get a good look at that. But much of the cane is quite young and small, and looks like grass, and option to replace the tobacco and the cotton. It is when we focus on the sugar that Barbados will be our wisdom. Crushing the cane, the juice is squeezed from the fibers pulp of the cane shafts, and the juice is then placed in the holding tank, where additives will encourage impurities, mainly mud, that have entered during the grinding procedure to settle to the bottom of the tank. New house replacing it in the back. The family are living in the old house at the front. Come on guys, give the kids a big wave. Don't be shy now, they're running to welcome you. Hello girls. They're coming from out there by the pavilion. Come on, give a big wave. They're running a long distance with those little legs. The time machine is something that drills through the earth. That's for cutting the cane, what you just saw. That is where rum come from, ladies and gentlemen. Over your left shoulder, the tall bar with the red roof, the old buildings at the back of it. That is the original facilities of Mount Gay. It's in the white building. It's just a matter of time before they vanish into the history books. That one is already halfway converted. The family built the back half of the house in blocks. They're cutting cane today. Look, see, there's cutting trailers out there. They're cutting cane. This cane is being cut by hand. Now lost in the majestic mahogany trees, which are these trees with the rough and scaly bark on the trunk. And also there's a lot of royal palm trees around here. Nicholas Abbey just sits in the back of the trees. The tree is known by one of my favorite names as the Fire of the Forest. They recently opened the railway that's running here as the railway began running at the... So the owner of the plantation is... And the trees with the rough and scaly bark, as I mentioned, are the mahogany. These trees were introduced into the island by one of the early owners of Nicholas Abbey around 1751. We'll be disembarking here shortly to stretch our legs, and this is just how I love to sleep when I get here. Now we are... grips in the dry season, but soon to be relieved by the rainfall that will return by late June. Things are pretty brown at the moment. In the field on the right, you see the egrets, the white birds of egrets. Look at the swallows. Look at the swallows around us. They must have thought you lot was family the way you were swallowing them drinks. The egrets were migrated to Peru from Africa to South America in 1955. What we'll find today is that Morgan Lewis is a dairy farm, as over the years, due to the decline in sugar, many plantations fell to ruin. And it was the smart ones that would switch to alternate sources of income as an answer to keep the doors open a little longer. Very true. I had to throw it until you get home, just in case. Years due to the decline in sugar, many plantations fell to ruin. And it was the smart ones that would switch to alternate sources of income as an answer to keep the doors open. I had a lady on the tour asked the other day, she said, Ted, are they freezing? I said, no, it's really warm up here, they ain't freezing. And gentleman said, well, have the round Ted, as the name implies, you could rotate the top of the mill, turning the sails at the front into and out of the oncoming trade winds each day. To turn the mill, you'd use the long shaft running down the back. This was called the tail or the tail tree. The little hut at the back, sitting here at the back of the mill, as you go up the ramp, that's where the ground, and the only guy that calls it through your window. What's that little, without looking so wallop of post over there. Cheers, my brother, thank you for that. Here on the right, you got a nice look back up at the hill, if you will, of the mill on the hill. There it is. You pulled the bus to a standstill after all that swell.
Take a photo of the windmill.
See, you've just made a bad mistake. They're all sheep. There is not a single goat there, not one. None of them are goats. If you remember that, you will be just fine when anyone asks that question that most people get wrong. Obviously. Nigel veg, Auntie's bar. I'll let you off if you'll not be drinking. They were fitting your rum shot well, but not all entirely. And Lucy's wishing you all the best and hopes you enjoy Barbados, my friends. Thank you, my love. It should be known to take up to 1 hour to retrieve a single bone. Seriously. Yeah, and hang on, that's with the help of the opposition. And each parish will have a capital church named after it, and it will be of the Anglican faith. That is the predominant religion on the island. So here on the right hand side, we've got the lovely old church. Now these churches were built out of wood around the 1650s and converted to stone by the 1960s. Atlantic Ocean, you'll see there's an often too many second chances if you make a mistake. Rocky Outcrop is talking about, and this is the mountain that came across our view from where we had drinks. As you look at this, you'll see that it's not actually made of coral. One side of the Caribbean or the other, as the plates were forcing against each other's faces, they were pushing upward, and this created a trough in which we saw the settling of the sedimentary flow. Generosity giving this land to us as a gift for our independence. Bridgetown was under the trees on the right, the small green coming. I think he did won a big contest in the States before losing his life. I think he really was a little bit ahead of himself, and that day he should not have been in those ways. Basic preservation. You want to be around long enough to see the grandkids. So a sad loss. I told my children and my wife, I said, the most people I've ever seen drown in my life. So here we see the banana trees on the left. There's a very tall, slender tree coming up above the banana. This is the papaya tree. It's only got one little papaya at the top. We'll see some other examples that are better than this. Looking to see if there's a board meeting on today, and sure there is. The chairman of the board is already seated. But the boys get bored, they bring a few bottles under the trees. Alright guys! They're very bored of giving us the old glare. I spend time with my friends in the little wooden houses, and that goes back to the days when there's no electricity or running water. At the top, that is St. Lucy's Parish. So that's the top of the map in the way. It was an old wives' tale. You don't really hear them anymore to be seen again. We're so fatigued from the great battle was the victorious giant that he lay down just beyond the shoreline of Bathsheba and never awoke again. That's created the sleeping giant mountain as we know it. I want to take a photo of that and put it on Airbnb and see how many clicks I get. I'm going to put it advertised as a lovely sunroof, fully air conditioned property, beachfront location, drinks served every day at low. But take a look at this little spot. This is lovely. I like that view. I was looking for the monkeys to go in. You see coconut trees with a band of galvanized steel around the trunk. This is an attempt to stop rats climbing the trees to get it. It goes on the left. So we're going to swing into St. John's Parish next, and in doing so we'll climb the hills up to the beautiful old church at St. John's Parish Church. Your potholes over here. Now the lovely old church coming up dates back to 1645, lovely view. I just keep telling the missus if they don't fix these roads pretty soon I might have to retire youngish. He's got his own place there with a little roof over his head already. But whoever said you had to have $1 million house to have $1 million view? Wow. Lovely view. So it looks like we made it to the top of the hill. Oh, perfect, guys. This is just how I love to see it. This is perfect. This is just perfect.
Those are for the kings.
Less than that, so it's not quite less than that. When I turned 17.
You got to do it properly. You don't want to be 30 wishing you was 20. You do 20 well enough, you say good, I can move on to 30 now. So our journey continues into the southeast of the island as we head to just look at the, well, you guys got some pretty small roads in England as well, some little country roads, my goodness. All those classic, yes, you can play this at your wedding, sir. Come on, guys, you know the words. Come on, guys, give me some help. Be together. And I had a lady on the tour on Monday. She said last week Monday. She said, "She
wait to them, Ted. You love them really."
Well, look, the gates are closed. I mean, It's for a great song. Yeah, I see the Silvery Sea, that is the Caribbean, and no longer its cousin, the Atlantic. And already you can tell we're coming back into the thick of things, and the traffic is picking up, the buildings are getting more congested. In front of us, the public parking lot. The public parking lot, this is where if you come into Oysters in a hired car, you can park in here. On Fridays it will be filled up early because Friday is the big and busy evening. It's the start of the weekend. You guys at the Navy South Wind as well. Adam, you've got the heading on you never know. You've got to come look at me while I'm here in the land of the living. I am working on new material until I see you next time. Don't forget, it's called Worthing, or known by its local name, Sandy Beach. On the right, the chicken bar is chicken and chips, very popular around the order. We see champers, a lovely choice for buying to eat. Champers, they serve lunch as well as dinner in a nice setting overlooking the water. Don't forget, beaches can have more than one name. You can have the name of the area where they're situated, and have a popular secondary title. So in this case, Accra Beach. Shop on the left out behind the blue building. It's called the Blue Pineapple. You'll pick it up on the boardwalk. Salt Cafe, that little cafe is very popular. And on the right in blue and white, look at the old McDonald's. Don't let the paint job fool you. On the left is Nauru with sushi. Here comes KFC or Kentucky Fried Chicken. But if you ask the guys, it's coming up a little peek at the boardwalk. Nothing fancy, but it's great. A little walk. You can see a bit of the boardwalk. Runs from Palm Beach, where you're staying at Coconut Court, to Rockley Beach up behind you. On the right, you got this. Now, you guys remember, don't forget my lovely wife White and the activities. You got lots of great things to keep you busy.
Yeah. She said lots about you.
Well, that's right, so that's good. She should. I'm the man on the tour, so you know she got to tell more. Keep me busy. I got to bring in the money that she's spending.
Yeah, exactly.
On the right, you got Jake's, you got Boozers further back, Mamma Mia's just under the trees ahead of us, and we swing in here. Security has got the gate down, they might not let us in.